Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, I have been thinking of making this video for a while and it's taken some time just because I didn't want to share this information with you until I went on and sold the property. So it's true, last year, and I did make some small little videos without giving too much away. I bought a flat last year in Dubai for for 1.144 million dirhams, which works out to be in today's amount exactly £250,000. Now, before you guys start asking, I didn't really go down a route of financing as I don't believe it to be permissible. I didn't go down the route of mortgage, and alhamdulillah, I guess it was just a case of giving that money up front. I think that's the most important thing to bear in mind in this whole video, that yes, at that point, I decided to put down that much money on a property and not go down the financing route, more because I don't believe it to be permissible. And here I want to mention something very important. If you're looking to buy a property, and if you're looking to buy a property in Dubai, in the UK, America, wherever, I am of the belief that you should only put down that amount of money if you don't need it. If you don't need that sort of money, I believe it's okay to put that money into a property where you could sell it maybe a year or 2 years later to start a business or do something for yourself. Like, if you don't need that money, then buy a property. If you need that money though, I personally wouldn't. And so a lot of people now, for example, will have 40 or 50,000 pounds saved up and will start a process of getting onto the property ladder. I actually believe that's a big mistake. And again, I'm hoping you guys can see, and I will mention, by the way, how much I sold the property for, but I want to share some important things with you, that I don't believe you should get on the property ladder as soon as possible, because I believe that you can start businesses for yourself, you can have streams of income, and the reality is, unless you are starting, and the reality is, unless you have money, unless you have an element of some funds, then it's difficult to start businesses, because money makes money. And yes, there are some businesses where you can start without having money. But if you have capital, actually starting business is a lot easier. So today now, alhamdulillah, again, it comes from Allah Azza wa Jal. More importantly, I am able to start a business next month and the month after, maybe because I have some liquid, because I'm a little bit liquid. So I want to share some important tips with you in this video. Where should you buy if you're looking to buy a property? So now that we've got that disclaimer passed, that when I believe you should buy a property, basically, what should you be looking for? There are a couple of things that in my success, which I have sold now the property, I'll tell you, because I don't want it to be like, oh, stay until the video, then I'll tell you guys. I sold the flat about 10 days ago for 1.465 million. Which works out to be, I'll tell you in pounds, because 321,000, subhanallah. The point though being is there are a couple of reasons why I was able to make 70,000 pounds profit on a 250,000 flat. I'll even tell you the location, by the way, and you guys can go check this location yourself and obviously do your own research. But I bought the flat in an area called Dubai Hills. Now, location is everything. There are a couple of things that are very, very important when buying a property, and especially buying a property in Dubai. I guess I'll go through them, and then you hopefully can get some benefits on, if you're looking to buy a property, these are the things to look out for. A lot of the flats these days are going on post plans. What that means is basically, you might buy a property today and it won't be ready for another 3 or 4 years. A great way, by the way, for investors, great way to actually make money on your investment, because it means that the property is not ready right now. By the time the property gets ready, you're obviously going to sell it for a premium because it's now ready. That was actually the same thing for me. The property wasn't ready, but it did get ready about 6 months later. Now, I want to mention something interesting here. Some people decided to sell the property as soon as it got put on the market, as soon as it was ready, basically. I knew that's not the right time to sell. And I'll tell you why. In Dubai, if you put your property on rent, you can only increase the rent by a certain percentage every single year. Let's say, for example, you were going to rent that property for 100,000 dirhams a year. Next year, you can only increase it to maybe 110, 115, whatever the percentage is. I don't actually know. But the point is you're limited. let's say, for example, you sell that property or you rent that property 4 or 5 months later, where most properties are getting rented for 110 or 120, later you can rent it for 130. So a 30,000 dirham difference can come into your rental income if you play the cards too soon, basically. So, well, I bought the property about a year ago. I sold it about 10 days ago. So it's basically been a year. And in a year, alhamdulillah, again, so shukr to Allah Azza wa Jal, because I don't believe anything could have been done if it wasn't the blessings of Allah. And please do say Allahumma barik in the comments below. And I do just want to add that I am not a property expert, not a property guru, but the few things that I've understood, I'm sharing with you. I did have the Burj Khalifa view, which a lot of people like. So you could see the Burj Khalifa in a distance. Now, it wasn't where it was right in front of my flat, but it was at a distance, and it is, it's appealing to some people. And people in Dubai do definitely love the view. Now, by the way, the property was only a 1-bed, tiny living room. Crazy, by the way. It was 1 bed, tiny living room, but again, I bought it for 250, I sold it for 320. And so the point I guess I'm making here is, as long as you have the right location, as long as you have a good view, as long as you time the market, and yes, it is possible to time the market, then I do believe you can make a good chunk. Look, it's not really possible to make 30% return on a property if you are looking to invest and then sell. It's unheard of, you know what I mean? And so I would say if you guys are looking to buy, then just bear that in mind, that you should definitely be looking at a couple of factors. If you are looking to buy, again, make sure you have the funds. Don't go down something haram. And I will add that I believe that one of the main reasons why, alhamdulillah, we saw good returns was because of that. Was because that we stayed away from those things that were not permissible. I believe that. Well, I have faith, and I have to believe that, and I share that with you guys. And so make sure you stay away from that. And so if you guys are looking to buy a property now, would I recommend it? Have to be honest, I personally would not recommend buying a property currently. It's why I sold, by the way. It's why I sold. So if I sold, and I again made videos last year telling you guys I would buy them in Dubai if I was you, and people at the time, question marks, doubts, haters, whatever you want to call it, it did happen, and that's completely fine. I will share what I am doing. You guys can follow me. You guys could do your own thing. I'm not an expert. I'm not saying do what I do, but I'm telling you my cards that I'm playing. So inshallah, you guys can benefit. And if you want to, you can. I currently don't want to buy a property. I would rather start a couple of companies. I'd rather invest in those companies. I'd rather have more liquid cash, inshallah, that I can put in maybe properties later on, money that I don't care about. This is the only time I would buy a property. It's just money that I don't care about. Even 30% return, by the way, 30% return, astonishing, amazing, very happy with it. If someone said to me, you'll get 30% return on a property, if you buy something today, I would still say, no, thank you very much. I want to, and put it into a business, chuck it into this, you know what I mean? That's my personal view. And I think that if you have a good model, you can get some really good returns. That's the way I'm going to go. And that's the advice that I'm going to give to you guys. So especially if you're young, start learning, start, investing, start making your money make money for you. I think if you invest in a property, you're basically crippling yourself. And look, in essence, I've done what a lot of people would like to do. And so I hope that I have some legitimacy to share some benefit with you guys. Inshallah, if this video benefited you, again, make sure to like this video, share with your family and friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you guys are new, then of course subscribe to the channel. But I appreciate you all. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.